All right, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome to Small Business Shoutout. We're hanging out with with Miss Kim from Novella Photography today. Hey, Kim, how are you doing?
Hey guys, I'm good. I'm good.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm gonna actually let a slideshow run of all of your photography and stuff while we go back and forth talking and whatnot. That way everybody can see your work. But while I'm getting that set up, I wanted to ask, how did you get started with this?
So I have loved photography since I was little. I can officially say that I started my actual business probably May of 2019. So I'm still kind of young in business, but like I said, my passion began a long, long time ago. My dad is actually been my inspiration. He has literally had a camera since the time I can remember. And he would always have the latest and the greatest, like the newest technology, when it came to cameras and things. And I didn't have the high-end stuff until I got a little bit older, but I always had the camera with me when I was little. So
that's pretty cool. My grandpa was like that with the cameras, but he collected old cameras.
That's
And
awesome.
I've got 4 bins of antique cameras from him.
Dude, really?
Yeah.
I might have to check those out sometime because that would really intrigue me for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you've got like the small box cameras and everything. It's pretty BA.
Oh, I love it. Well, the crazy thing is I didn't realize that my grandma also had like a passion for photography either until after she passed away. So we were like cleaning out her stuff one day, after she had passed, and my dad and I found this huge honkin' telephoto lens. And I mean, this thing was like badass. Like it was huge and in a wooden box, and like something that looked like a big toolbox, but a big wooden solid box.
Yeah.
And we found out that she had a whole bunch of like nature photography pictures, mostly of birds. She loved birds. And I remember her, like looking through binoculars at birds and reading about birds and, that type of thing, trying to identify them. But I never knew that she was like a big bird photographer and that she had all of these pictures hidden away. So
yeah,
it is.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. And that's actually how my logo came about too, was with my my grandma, and she had always joked that if she ever came back to Earth after she passed, she would be a bird. So that was kind of my inspiration for the logo that I have.
That's awesome.
So those grandparents, they'll surprise you, man.
Oh yeah, no, they definitely do. This is going too fast. There we go. 1 every 10 seconds. Yeah. And go back to slide 1, please. All right. So and this is gonna play on a loop, I believe. Okay, now it will. Okay. Because it's probably gonna go through about 2 or 3 times while we're talking.
Okay.
And I tried to pull examples of all the different kinds of work that you do.
Nice.
No, that's awesome though, that like it's a family thing. Like when
who knew, right? Who knew? So here's my dad with this, camera growing up. Nowhere in my mind did I think that would be where my career would end up taking me. But my dad, I really started taking an interest in photography when I came home from college. And my dad and I actually started taking photography classes together just for fun. So we would, we took some up at the Botanic Gardens. We actually took some through the College of DuPage. Like we were kind of all over the place and getting a nice mix of different types of photography. So we would literally spend our weekends when I came home from school going out and finding new places to take pictures and, that kind of thing. So we'd go on architectural tours, and we had always kind of joked about, well, probably not a joke to him or to me, really. I mean, we had always talked about setting up a booth at, these art fairs and things that you see during the summertime.
Oh, yeah.
We wanted to make that a weekend hobby. But then I had kids. And that kind of changed a little bit. So the time that my dad and I were spending together on the weekends, instead of me, kind of focusing on flowers and architecture and still objects, I started putting my kids in front of those still objects and taking pictures of them. So my focus kind of changed a bit. And
okay. So you went from still to living photography.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was doing all landscape stuff, when I was doing hobbyist things with my dad. And then that switched, and I started having friends asking me to take pictures of their kids. So it's kind of all of this evolved. Yeah. And I at first declined, politely declined, when my friends would ask me to take pictures of their kids. I was so used to just taking pictures of still objects,
Mm-hmm.
didn't move much. And now, and I was just, photographing my kids for fun more than anything. But the more and more I was asked, the more I realized I may actually have something here. So I gave it a shot.
Yeah, and thank goodness you did, because your work is amazing. I love your pictures. It brightens my timeline on Facebook every day.
Thank you. Yeah,
it's just so cute.
It's been a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, it definitely got some hard baby fever.
And kids are actually my favorite thing to photograph. So I will pretty much, I primarily do kids and families. I do engagement shoots. I do couple shoots. Cause I have some couples that will just reach out to me because they want to do, something different for their anniversary, or, something to that extent. So we'll do those things. This one you're looking at right now is actually a generation shoot. That's grandma on the left side. And she wanted more than anything to take pictures with her 2 granddaughters and her daughter. So that's what they did for her 70th birthday. It was a gift to grandma. So
I loved looking at those pictures. They were so cute.
Yeah. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can definitely see that it would be a lot of fun, especially getting to laugh with people, I think, is one of the most fun things ever. Which one's your first paying client?
So my first paying client was actually an engagement shoot that I did, and they were for 2 beautiful ladies down by the Riverwalk in downtown Naperville. Okay. So I have to tell you, Shirley, I was so nervous. And even though I'm totally confident in my skills, I've had the years of experience now with the classes and everything, I always get nervous before a shoot. But I honestly think that just means that I care so deeply about what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. You want to make sure that you're doing a good job, so you get almost like little butterflies, I imagine.
Absolutely. Yeah. You want to make sure, that you're sticking to your style, but also giving something to the clients that they are going to love for years and have, timeless photos.
Yeah. It's got your mark on it, but it's unique to them too.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I got to tell you, so the first time I actually said yes. Now, granted, this is 6 months prior to me having my first paid shoot. I had a friend of mine ask me in, December of 2018 to take these pictures of her 3 boys, and they were all under 5 years old, by the way. So I was incredibly nervous, but I wanted to run it as if they were a paying client, and, exactly how I would try to run a shoot from that point forward. So I studied posing, and I made sure my lighting was correct. I did everything I could to prepare. Then the unexpected happened. The shutter on my camera actually stopped working.
Oh my gosh.
During our shoot. I know. Can you believe it? But luckily we were at the tail end of everything, so it was okay. But I definitely learned a lot from that first experience. Always have a backup camera, and iPhones don't count.
Yes.
So, but I also learned throughout that experience that, man, do I love photographing kids. all their personalities are so different. And, you know, within 6 months is when I started actually having my first paid client. So that was the lead up to everything, you know, kind of falling into place, if you will. So
Nice.
yeah. So that picture you're looking at, that was taken from the W Lakeshore in Chicago. And that is, it's a fun experience. My family and I do every summer as we do a little staycation and we go downtown. And one of my favorite things to do is waking up before the rest of the city has woken up and actually go out and take pictures of super, you know, typically very crowded places, you know, like the Bean or, you know, just different places that you would normally see hundreds, thousands of tourists and get there before any of those people do. So
yeah, I wanted to do that because I'm a little bit of an I'm an amateur like hobbyist photographer, and
you never told me that.
Well, that's what my Instagram page is. It's all my photography, because my grandpa was so into it that he was our photographer and we don't have one now, so I started taking the pictures.
Really?
And I'm good with the macro photography, like
Yes.
I can get those good close-up shots, but I'm still working on, like, you know, my wider pan shots, and I definitely can't do people or anything, but it's just for fun. It's a hobby for me.
That's awesome.
But I wanted to do that during the pandemic, like in those first few weeks of being shut down, like go
Yes.
downtown and get those shots. And I definitely did not do it.
Well, you can still act that way if you get up early in the morning and go and do it.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about getting up early. That's not happening for me.
Oh my goodness, too funny.
Yeah, no, I'm not an early bird. I've never been, as my grandpa would say, I've never been a dawn maiden. So.
Oh goodness, that's
No.
you get such good lighting, and you get it's amazing. I have changed myself to a morning early riser because of photography, honestly. So, but
I'll have to try it, like, you know, like on a string of off days or something.
yeah, exactly.
Work my way up to it.
Get yourself to bed early and set that alarm early.
Yeah. I've been trying to do that, to go work out with Jess for the last 2 weeks, and it's just not working.
Oh, too funny.
So, which is your favorite? Which was your favorite shoot to do? Was there a favorite family you had, or?
So honestly, I love every session I do, and the reason I can say that, you know, whether it's a full session or if I do a mini session, which I'm sure we'll talk about those differences, but every single session is so different. You know, even with my mini sessions where the background is exactly the same, you know, you can see right now you've got the background is a camper that I did at Christmas time, and you can see there's different families, but those pictures are also different from each other.
Yeah, they are.
And you never know how a kid is going to react to a certain prompt that I give them. So, you know, sometimes you could have like a really serious kid, but then the next session is totally different. And you have, you know, this kid that won't stop smiling or running around, or, you know, like it's fun because you see so many different personalities, and to try, you know, the ones that are a little shy, to try to pull those personalities out of them is, to me, it's like a reward. You know what I mean? When I get that shot of a shy kid who didn't want to smile for me.
But I imagine that's got to feel really gratifying, because there are some kids. I was that kid who was super in my shell and like, do not talk to me, don't look at me, no. So yeah, I don't like. What are some things that you do to get a kid like that to open up?
So the biggest thing is making the kids feel comfortable from the start, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm actually talking to mom and dad prior to us actually meeting, you know, this is all pre-session time. I have kind of like a sheet that I go through with them, talking about the kids' favorite, you know, movie at the time, their favorite snacks, their favorite anything. Like, what are they into? Are they into basketball, or, you know, do they like playing with Legos, or, you know, that kind of thing. So that when I meet them, the first thing I can do is try to connect with them. So I always meet a family in the parking lot, and I get down at the kids' level and I talk to them, you know, as if they're a human being, because they are a human being, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a,
You don't talk at them, you talk to them.
exactly. And try to, you know, get more information out of them. And then I've built this rapport with them before we even start.
Okay.
So
like that.
yes. And if we're still having a little hard of a time getting them to crack, my favorite thing is to, you know, basically like play games with them as we're doing our session. So, you know, there are a lot of photographers out there that like to do these pose shots. I am not a posed person. I would much rather give people prompts and kind of have them react to those prompts. So, you know, it could be something as silly as having a family walking down a path together, and then we play red light, green light. Do you remember that game?
Yeah, I do. That was a lot of fun.
So we would have the mom and dad and the kids, you know, like I would say, okay, red light, and they would stop and they would automatically start laughing, you know, and then
yeah.
green light and they start running towards you, and you can get these amazing pictures just by playing with the kids, you know, and kind of trying to put them like in a natural situation rather than asking them to sit down and pose for 12 pictures in a row. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's not natural for a kid. They have to constantly be moving. So, but you know, if I'm still having a hard time, if red light, green light doesn't work, I will say something to a kid such as, you know, don't you dare smile. Don't you dare. I don't want to see that smile from you. See, and you started smiling just from me.
Yeah.
It instantly gets them to smile. So, yeah, so those are kind of a few of my tips and tricks, but yeah, it's, and you can see the silly face thing. We'll do 1, 2, 3 silly face, 1, 2, 3 silly face, and the kids love it.
Yeah. I like that too. And it's such a different approach. Because I can remember, like, you know, you remember being a kid and you're getting your picture taken for school and they're like, smile bigger, bigger. Yeah. And it's just like, I can remember, like, there's not one picture where I've got a natural smile or where I look comfortable, because like, I'm always like, I can't make my face stretch any more than this.
And how many times did mom make you do retakes, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, please no. Like, even up until senior photos, I can remember like now pose this way and I look at them like, none of this looks natural. Like, I look so weird because it's just not the way that I would sit, you know? Yeah. So I like that you do that. That's a really like unique way to get those pictures. My brother, like, he's not a photographer, but like, we go on vacation together and I'll go pose for the picture I want. And then as I'm coming back to the camera, he just keeps taking pictures. And it turns into like, we've gotten a few really good ones because like it's a game now and I run at him, and there's like somewhere you see me setting to run. There's one where I'm just like, my hair is flying and my arms are out and I'm like, ah!
Perfect.
It's so
like, aren't those the pictures that you remember?
Yeah, no, they are. They're the ones that stick and that you have the most fun with. Like when you're being goofy and silly and you're not even trying to you're not trying to look good in the picture. You're having fun. And that's what makes the picture look good.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, one of my favorite prompts to do with kids, and if we're doing a family shoot, is to have mom and dad or mom and mom or dad and dad sit together on a blanket. And then my assistant will take the kids to the side and say, you know, kind of clue them in on what's going to happen. And she will tell them, you know, when Kim says, oh, you look perfect, then you run at your mom and your dad. And it's like a sneak attack tackle. And I mean, you can see it in some of the Christmas happy camper pictures that I've done, where the kids are literally, you know, running at mom and dad. And some of the pictures of like the parents' reaction when they finally realize what's happening and they see their kids coming in from the sides are hilarious. You know, they're so fun and they're memorable. And, you know, yeah, so I I have so much fun with them. I really, really do.
Yeah, that actually, I've seen the result of that, and I think one of them is coming up pretty soon, and it is so cute the way that, yeah. And I talked to Jess after her photo shoot, and she was like, it was so, I was sitting there with Jackson, the girls just came and attacked us.
Well, and Jess was a little unique because, you know, with her husband not being there, I had to make sure she was sitting with somebody. I didn't want her to be sitting on the blanket by herself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I thought that was so cute too. I love their pictures.
Yeah. So, oh, there it is right there. That
Yeah.
was where
The black and white.
girls tackled them or tackled
Yeah.
Jess.
Well, you can see how Emma's like all on top of her, like she got her knee up and everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But like those are the you know, those are the fun reactions. So
Yeah, and those are the good pictures and the beautiful memories, you know, like because you can have that basic pose picture and that's great, but that creates memories. Those are the fun ones.
exactly. Yeah. So, and I always, you know, of course, I'm always going to get a picture where everybody's looking at the camera in some form. But yes, it's usually the pictures between the quote unquote posed pictures, even though I do not like that word posed. Those are the ones that are going to be your favorites, most likely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at least for my clients, I mean, my clients kind of know what they're getting into when when they sign up for a session with me. They know that they're going to be fun. They're fun. They know that I'm going to be asking them to jump up in the air and do silly things, you know, but again, those are they turn out great. So,
well, and that's like a really unique thing too. And I love that again, because you get these beautiful shots that like you wouldn't get with the not traditional photographer, but like, you know, like an old school
studio. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you know, like these pictures are still timeless. And I think part of what makes them timeless is that I try to stick to a very organic, natural feel. I don't, you know, really right now there's a lot of trends where some photographers are going very dark and moody. And, you know, while I can appreciate that style, that's not me by any means, because I really like timeless pictures and I really want something to, you know, 10 years from now to still look like, you know, like a picture you want to have hung up in your house. I feel like with these dark and moody type pictures that 10 years from now, we're going to say, why is everything so dark? And why do my kids' skin look orange? You know, you know what I mean? I don't know if you've seen that style I'm talking about, but that is a big style photographers are going for right now. And I've kind of stayed away from that because I just, again, prefer the timeless type pictures.
Yeah, I do too. And I agree with you. It's those trendy things. While it might be fun to get like one set of photos done that way, but to like, you know, to have that be all that you do and to kind of put yourself in that box of I'm only going to do this right now.
Right.
That's I think it's never. Well, I would imagine, and I don't know if you agree, but like as a photographer or any kind of, you know, paid you know, creative person, you don't want to stay in a box. You want to be flexible to your clients and to changing times and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
So where do you get the inspiration for these sets and these like this one with the baby and the little blue bowl? Like, oh my God. Where do you think of this kind of stuff?
So that one, that shoot in particular, that was actually a training course that I did. I was dabbling in whether or not I wanted to get involved with newborn photography. And that type of newborn photography is a very different ball game. I mean, there is, you know, safety things that go into newborn photography with wrapping and, you know, how do you make sure that that bowl that baby was just in doesn't tip over, you know, and all of those types of things. I mean, it's not just putting a kid in a bowl. There's a lot of things that go behind that, and to make sure that the baby stays asleep. And, you know, those sessions, those newborn sessions can last like 4 to 5 hours.
Oh, wow.
So, right. So I did that training course. I loved it. I decided that I like the personalities of seeing children and see them in their natural, natural elements and things.
Like
So,
toddlers. Yeah.
right. Not to say that I'll never do newborn photography, but yes, those particular pictures were from a training course that I did. Where I get my inspiration, I kind of get it everywhere. Like, honestly, I could be out with friends and see something, I'm trying to think of an example. But I'll get them from movies. I will get them. I walked past, Tiffany's at Christmas time, and I'm like, oh, how fun would it be to do a breakfast at Tiffany's type theme, where like the little girl is dressed up in like a little black dress and is carrying Tiffany bags, and like,
oh my God, that's so cute.
Love that kind of stuff, So, yeah. So my business, I kind of offer two. I've been kind of, going all over the place with my discussion here, but I offer two different types of sessions. So I have a full family session, and I also have mini sessions.
Okay.
So when I say that, a full session is typically like an hour long, and it's a session that a family has reached out to me for, and we will meet in a place that we both agree on. It could be someplace closer to their home. It could be, something like Cantigny Gardens. But it's basically a session that's going to be personalized to what they want. It usually doesn't involve a lot of props. It focuses more on the connection between people. So if you are doing this, and it can be studio, it could be at my home studio, or it could be outdoors. And if we decide that it's going to be someplace outdoors, that time frame allows us to walk around and get different locations as the backdrops within that hour. And it actually, that time frame also allows you to have an outfit change if you prefer. Some people do that, especially if it's a senior, like a graduation senior type session. Seniors want to have like 3 or 4 outfits at times, so.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah. So if that's the case, I bring a little pop-up tent that you can change in, and, we get it done. But
Nice.
yeah, so those full sessions, they normally yield around 40 or 50 proofs that then the client is able to pick their favorite 10. And once they've picked their favorite 10, those 10 will be fully edited and sent to them in an online gallery, if you will. So they get the digital files, and they have the rights to print them wherever they would like. With that being said, I'm kind of segueing a little bit. If you are getting prints done, I suggest, if you're not going to go through your photographer's lab, to actually go through a company called MPix. It's mpix.com. They are absolutely phenomenal when it comes to their quality of work, their colors. Their colors are spot on. If you go to some of these cheaper places, I don't want to mention any names, but if you go to some of these cheaper labs, the colors are off. All of the printers kind of interpret things a little bit different. Their shadowing is different. Their contrast is different. So MPix has been the best commercial company that I have found for prints. Okay. And they have a variety of everything. I mean, your canvases, they've got metals that you can print on, woodwork. They have just about anything you can dream of in terms of that. So sorry, total segue, but that is something that, is really, it's so hard to see as a photographer that these people have spent so much money to actually get their pictures done. And then when they go to get them printed on a huge canvas, they're totally disappointed because they printed through a cheap printer. So yeah. If you're looking to spend money with a photographer, make sure you're also aware that you're going to be spending money on prints as well, because that's a big thing.
Well, so, and if you want quality, you have to pay for it, and that's and quality lasts, so it's worth paying for it.
Yep, and they will last the test of time too. So
absolutely.
So going back to the full versus the mini. So we talked about full sessions. The mini sessions are a little bit different than a typical shoot. And when I do a mini session, it's usually something that has a specific theme to it. And it's usually like 15 to 20 minutes per session. So I'll have multiple sessions per hour and they're booked back to back. So examples of minis would be something like a sunflower mini, where we would meet at a sunflower field and I have something already staged and set up there. Or it could be something at my studio with the backdrop and props and, you know, like a Valentine's Day mini or something to that extent, right?
Okay.
So those shorter sessions are kind of for families that just want a couple pictures, or, you know, because it could be around like a milestone birthday or something to that extent. Or they like the theme so much that they just want to go with the theme and get some pictures taken with that particular theme. So again, that's something where the client would come to me wherever I have these things staged. It's not personalized, and it's very quick. So, you know, you don't get as many connection type pictures as you would if you did a full family shoot. But it's for, like I said, for those people that just want a quick couple pictures, or they prefer the theme that I'm offering for that. So those typically cost anywhere between $125 to $200 for those mini sessions. And they usually yield about 15 to 20 for the gallery itself. And then they get to pick 3 to 5 pictures that get fully edited and sent back to them.
Okay.
So yes, so you can see, I mean, the difference in cost versus how many pictures they receive, and also the time that I'm spending with each one of those clients. So yeah, yep.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
what recommendations do you have for like someone for preparing for a photo shoot? Like, besides bringing a change of clothes, like if I wasn't, I don't know.
If you weren't doing a change of clothes.
Yeah.
So I would say the biggest thing is if you're doing like a full family shoot, I was thinking about this morning, make sure you bring a second pair of shoes for yourself. Kids, not so much, because if you're going to bring a wagon or a stroller or something to push your kids in, they're not going to be walking as much. But if you're wearing high heels, ladies, if you're wearing high heels, you do not want to be walking around St. James Farm in high heels as we're going.
No.
You know what I mean? So make sure to bring a pair of tennis shoes. Stay comfortable. It's very easy to change your shoes in between, or flip flops. You can wear a pair of flip flops. You know, anything to just keep those feet comfy. And when you're scheduling your session with the photographer, if you have little ones, make sure to schedule your session based on their nap schedule. If you schedule a session during their nap schedule, you are definitely going to have some unhappy kiddos for sure.
You're going to get some crying pictures out of that one.
Yeah. Yes. Which, you know, could be memorable years from now too. But probably not going to keep mom, you know, cool, calm, and collected. She might be a little stressed out. So yeah, try to do it around their nap times. If you can, try to keep them awake in the car. If you have to drive a long time to their session, they hate being woken up and asked to perform, you know, on camera right away. So try to keep those babies awake. Make sure that kids are fed beforehand. So bring extra food. If it's a baby, make sure you bring extra milk, you know, snacks if they're a little bit older. You want to make sure that if you do have an infant with you or a younger child that's still on milk, make sure to leave about 10 to 15 minutes before, or I'm sorry, arrive 10 to 15 minutes before your session starts, so that you can kind of get that last bottle in beforehand, because hungry kids are not happy kids. I'll tell you that too.
Yeah.
And when it comes,
I don't think any hungry people are happy people.
right? I know. I can tell you, my husband is not so. He gets very hangry. So
They're like, you need a Snickers, Dan.
So I have to bring snacks for him whenever we take pictures too.
Bag of cashews. Here you go. Calm down.
And speaking of snacks, like make sure when you are thinking of snacks, don't pack things like Cheetos, because obviously,
oh my gosh, yeah,
all over kids' outfits, it happens. So, you know, I've learned what I need to make sure to tell parents beforehand. So, also, if you have a child with you that's either a little shyer, or if it's a smaller child, make sure to bring a favorite toy or a stuffed animal or something to that extent. You know, I'll always have squeakers and stuff to get their attention, but sometimes they're just happiest holding their own toys, you know, and many times we can, you know, they're going to get comfortable and we can remove them throughout the session. But if not, I get creative with editing. So, and you know, sometimes the toys are actually cute enough to stay in some of the pictures too. So, one more thing is if a baby is still using a pacifier, make sure to bring extra. Don't expect a baby to do anything different the day of your session than they're typically used to. You do not want to introduce the no pacifier rule the day that you're doing your shoot. And saying that, I just thought of one other thing. Vaccinations. Do not schedule vaccinations, or I'm sorry, do not schedule your session the day of or the day after a vaccination, because you just never know how that baby or how that small child is going to react to those vaccinations. So kind of give them a day. Yeah. Give them a day to, you know, let their body build up those antibodies and everything, and whatever sickness they're going to feel, you know, make sure that you give them a day to get over that.
Absolutely.
So, do you want to talk about outfits?
Yeah, I was actually just going to ask, how do you advise people for like what to wear to a session? Because like I wouldn't know, I would have no idea what to, like, you know.
So what I kind of suggest is when I talk to clients from the get-go, you know, I ask them if they have a Pinterest page, because if so, I like to share Pinterest boards back and forth if they're having a hard time deciding on what to wear. You know, we as photographers, we do this every day. So we know kind of what looks good together, what doesn't look good together, what colors look good together. So if you ever have a question, that's where to start. Some things that I would suggest is layering, adding additional layers always adds interest to your shoots. And it's nice because you can do things like, you know, if you're wearing a jean jacket, remove it, or a scarf, remove it, and it totally gives you a different look. Yeah, so layering up, adding texture. So like cable knit sweaters are really nice, rib sweaters. They all look awesome on camera. One other suggestion I would say is coordinate rather than match. Matchy is really only cute if you're doing like Christmas pajama type pictures. If it's not Christmas, I suggest coordinating instead. So what I always suggest is mom picks out her outfit first. I know it's so super easy to think about your kids and you find a really cute dress for your daughter or what have you, and then trying to coordinate around that. You're going to stress yourself out.
Yeah.
Women in general are so critical of themselves, even though we shouldn't be, but a lot of times we are. So if they find an outfit that they're happy in, and then help the rest of the family. This kind of also helps each member show their personalities a little bit too, rather than everybody, you know, being in red and black plaid, you know, like everybody in buffalo plaid. You're not showing your personalities that way. So
yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah,
I like that. Like to have the whole family coordinate around mom, because you're right. Like and they say like if mom's happy, everybody's happy, right?
Totally. And that's the next point I was going to make with, you know, tips to get ready for your shoot is don't stress. You know, kind of expect the unexpected. It's going to happen. You know, things, think about like weddings, you know, like you want
Oh,
everything
God.
to go perfect. Parents are the same way with these photo shoots, but you know what? Things are going to happen and we roll with it. We just roll with it. And, you know, it is amazing how many parents walk away feeling, well, have walked away, I should say. It sounds like I'm making all my parents feel defeated, but there are parents that, you know, they're like, oh, my kid didn't act the way that I want him to act, or blah, 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 blah. It is amazing the type of shots you can get, even if you don't think your kid did their best that day. So, you know, there's even been times where I've walked away and I felt, oh, that probably wasn't my best shoot, you know, and then I go back and I look at the pictures and I'm like, nope, I got a lot more better shots than I actually expected, you know, like, oh, that little girl was smiling more than I expected that she would.
Like I was being a little hard on myself.
Yes, exactly. So don't stress, because especially if mom stresses or dad stresses, like that shows in the pictures. The kids can feel that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you definitely vibe off of that.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah. But and you know, like I said, always reach out to your photographer because they've got some really good suggestions on where to shop. And you know what, honestly, one of my favorite places for little boys is Old Navy. It sounds so silly because it's just, you know, it's Old Navy, but they have really cute clothes for little boys. Little girls, I have there's some different companies called Joyfolie that is advertised quite a bit on Facebook, at least to me, and it might be just because I've shopped there before. But Joyfolie is a good one for kids. Another one is Bailey's Blossoms, and then Nordstrom's. I love Nordstrom's. So yeah, and you know, for adults, everybody's kind of got their favorite places to shop as an adult, but Joyfolie also has coordinating outfits for mom as well. So that's a good place. Free People is another one, and Anthropologie are kind of my favorites for adults as well. Nice. So do you need spelling on any of those, Shirley?
I think I have it here actually. Joyfolie is Joyfolie, right?
Yep.
And then Bailey's Blossoms, I've got Anthropologie. Yeah. What I'll do, everyone, is I will link all of those recommendations for favorite stores in the description of the video. That way you guys don't miss it, as well as the website MPix. It's in the live chat. It'll be in the live chat replay, but that way you guys can see it there too. I did want to ask you before I know you have to get going soon, but before we did get going, I wanted to ask you, I meant earlier to ask about your logo. I absolutely love it with the like doves flying off of the camera.
Yeah. So those were inspired by my grandma with the bird pictures that she was taking. So it's kind of my little, you know, memorial to her, if you will. She and I were very close, but again, it was so funny that she never told me about this photography love that she had. And, you know, it's unfortunate that my dad and I started taking these classes while she was still alive, but I don't think she realized how serious I was about photography. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, she didn't get to see that aspect of me before she passed. So yeah, but that's where that was inspired from.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I've been looking at I love that picture. It is just.
Thank you.
And I'm having that where I'm trying to find a logo that, you know, represents me, and you know what I'm saying. And it's really difficult sometimes. And I think
it really is.
You hit the nail on the head with that one.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Well, I will. I know you have to get going because kids and at-home learning and all that jazz.
So true. So true. It's a different world right now, isn't it?
It truly is. But thank you so much for coming up and you know, being a guest on my show today and sharing your business with us. Like this is awesome.
Yeah, and if anybody, Shirley, do you have my actual business email address as well?
Yes, I believe I linked it in the I believe I already put it in the description. Let me just have a look really quick. So we can, because I've got the video up here. No, wrong button. Here we go. No, I put your website and your I've got your Facebook, Instagram, website, and phone number on there, but I'll put your business email there too.
Sure. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is that the email that you were emailing me from before?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
knovellaphotography@gmail.com.
knovellaphotography@gmail.com.
Got it.
Okay, perfect. I will get that in the description so everyone can see it. All right.
Awesome. Thank you, Shirley, so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
No, definitely, and I appreciate you coming up. Of course, like this was great. And before you go, are you doing
Yeah.
anything special for Valentine's Day as far as like sessions?
No, you're totally fine. So Valentine's Day, because of where COVID numbers are, I didn't see that there was going to be a huge interest for Valentine's Day outdoors. I normally do an indoor studio shoot, but because of COVID numbers, I'm not currently doing indoor studio. I will start doing it once we hit like 4%. Positivity rate. I will start doing them again and, be fully masked and all of that as well. But just to limit people's exposure, I, for personal reasons, have decided not to do studio until we've hit that 4%. So, but I have lots of fun things coming up. I will do an Easter shoot. I'm still working out details on that one. My Christmas shoot, I can't believe I'm talking Christmas because it's January, but my Christmas shoot is going to be something like you guys have never seen before in this area. I don't want to share too many details. There will be a man with a red suit there. But it is so different, and it's going to take place in a cabin. And just think about it being Santa's getaway cabin. And your kids, I don't want to give away too much, but your kids are going to be the star of a children's story. So that's what I'll leave you with.
Oh my gosh, it's a cliffhanger. I want to know. I'm gonna rent
amazing. I'm so excited. I have a friend who's actually an author, and so she is writing me this beautiful children's story right now, and your kids will be the star of it. So, anyway,
my God, that's wonderful.
So yeah, so this is you guys know way more than anybody else does at this point. So keep
info.
Watch for what's coming. So I will start promoting those in June or July of this year, only because people like to get their Santa Christmassy type pictures booked early. So
yeah, definitely.
So, and this will be the Santa that will actually be there that you're seeing in these pictures right now.
Okay, awesome.
Yep. So anyway, I'll leave you with that.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Kim, so much for coming up and sharing your work with us and answering all my questions.
Thank you. I appreciate everything you're doing.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to have you. I'll see you soon.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, bye. All right, guys, that was Miss Kim with Novella Photography. Don't forget to like her Facebook page, her Instagram page, and then I've linked all of her contact info for you guys. I'm going to highlight the email here, but I'm going to add that to the description as well as her recommendations for different places for you to shop for children's clothing when you're coming up to a photo shoot and all of that jazz. So thank you so much for joining us for Small Business Shout Out with Novella Photography. We'll be back with another small business probably in the next couple weeks. But so keep an eye out for that. But this was a really fun one for me. I've been looking forward to it. I love her photos and I wanted to share them with you. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Y'all have a wonderful afternoon. I'll be back at 2 p.m. with another live show. And we'll see you then. Little Shirley, Signing off until next time. Bye, guys.